Hey guys, this is Jimmy from Primer is Best. I'm sitting in this. I brought a kitchen chair in here in the living room. I'm watching Westerns on TV. Let me see if I can fix this a little better. Watching Westerns on TV. I've been doing a little bit of exercises with my total knee replacement I had on my left knee. If you're new to the channel, I had total knee replacement. So I'm doing my exercises. But I was wanting to thank each and every one of you guys that watched, and I'll put in the description of this video, I'll put a link to the video I'm referring to. I had a video that I made that was a really good video. It had a lot of people commenting, and that's what I'm wanting is people to comment, subscribe, and make a comment to the channel Primer is Best, which is what you're watching, and to commenting on why I sold my classic cars and trucks in order to retire. Let me fix this a little bit better, maybe. Might be a little bit easier for you. I'm sitting in the sun, kind of. Finally got a sunny day here in East Tennessee, and it was 9 degrees this morning. I don't know when you're seeing this video, but man, it was cold. And they were talking about blackout, as far as electrical. I've got a kerosene heater going here behind me, and I started it, just so if the power goes out, we still have heat, keep my lines from freezing, water lines. But what I was going to tell you is I'm going to try to answer a few questions or comments people made. Mostly, or a lot of them are, I had one person, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, I'm assuming a man that called me stupid, said you're stupid for selling your classic cars and trucks. And I've had people say, I could never sell my classic cars or trucks, or if I was you, I could have never sold them. I could never do this. I could never do that. Well, if you watch the video, like I said in the description of this video, watch that video before you pass judgment on me. I'm going to tell you a couple of more things that happened to me. Now, let me say this. Primer is Best. That's what you're watching. As I said, I've got more trucks. Since I have retired, I have purchased more trucks. My YouTube channel is basically all about getting trucks, Chevys and GMC trucks, C10s, stuff like that. And basically, I fix them up, get them back. It's trucks nobody else wants. Going to the scrapyard, being pulled out of a ditch, being stuck in the woods, for years and years. I've had all of those scenarios. I don't buy trucks normally that's, it's already up and going. I normally get trucks that need lots of love, lots of care, lots of money being thrown at it, you see. So I've got, I think I've got 6, maybe 7 old Chevy and GMC trucks. 2 or 3 of them, 2 or 3 are not running yet, but they will be. They're on my buddy's YouTube channel, GM1038. GM1038, his name's Brian on YouTube. And then they go to Tim Dixon. Tim Dixon is on Facebook. He owns Gas Axe Chop Shop, and he also owns Rebel Wire. So if you need wiring for your old car or old truck, new wiring, a wiring harness, give Tim a call, 423-507-2693. Getting on with the video. I always give shout outs to my friends. Let me say this. I'll give you another scenario of why I was wanting to get out of where I was at. In January of every year, you have 1 month between January and February to put in your vacation time according to your seniority, So if you've been there 10 years, say like I've been there 5 years, and me and another person puts in for the same vacation week, sometime throughout the 12 months of the year, then the person with the highest seniority gets it, and you're out. So you got to pick another time. So like I said, I'd been there 25 years. So I had I had pretty good seniority, not as much as most, but depending on your department that you're in, you get seniority based on that department. So I was in, pretty good shape as far as my seniority. I'd been there a long time. And, so I put in for my vacation in January. So when my wife, Mrs. PIB, our two boys, we put in for a vacation, for around 4th of July. I was trying to take advantage of the time being off, for the holiday, getting paid for the holiday. Hold on. Sorry, guys, that was my wife calling to tell me she made it to her destination. We always keep each other tuned in on what's going on. Anyway, so what did I say? My wife and I and our two sons. My wife and I, we got married. She had a son already, and I had a son already. Believe it or not, they're both the same age. So when we got married, we intertwined, just meshed right together. It was perfect. We done everything together with our two boys as well. So we had a trip because of my seniority. We made reservations to go to Florida, to Panama City that year. Panama City. Had the motel lined up, once I found out, 1st of February that my vacation had been approved. So we put in for a vacation and it was approved. We made our reservations, had everything lined up, to go. Well, it got close to time for us to go. I'm talking like normally the last part of June, 1 week, like the last week of June, the first week of July. Remember some of those days are July 4th, so I didn't have to use as many days, you see. So, we put in for a vacation and got approved. Well, if you have, the rule there at where I worked was if you're off, say like, you're working this week. Well, the next week, you have the whole entire week off. Well, then you get that weekend off before your vacation starts, plus the weekend, the whole week, the 7 days. So actually, you get 9 days off, because you're on vacation, right? The whole week. My boss came up to me, like I don't know, 40 minutes before quitting time on Friday, and told me I had to work. So I won't mention his name. I almost did. I got to watch what I say. I told my boss, I said, I'm off. I said, I've got vacation the whole next week. I said, we're leaving out the next morning to go to Panama City, on Saturday. We're going to Panama City with my wife and my two boys. I've had this planned for 6-7 months. I've already got I've already, paid for the motel, everything's all set up. He said, you've got to work. And, the thing is, him and I talked a lot, and I thought he was my friend, a friend, when you talk to somebody for a while, they're not just an acquaintance, they're your friend. I guess when it comes to company stuff, that doesn't apply. So we got into a little bit of an argument and, discussion. No bad words, nothing like that. I'm just saying, told my boss, I said, you're doing me wrong. I said, I'm the first person in this whole big facility that you're trying to set an example for with the other employees. I said, if you've got the whole week off and you've already made plans, and I told you months in advance, I said, we're going to Florida. And he knew all this. He knew all of it. And all of a sudden, he didn't give two hoots. So I went up front and talked to HR. And, they're not no help. Like I said, watch the video in the description, a link in the video that you can click on. So I finally, I come up to him and I told him, I said, look, I said, my wife and my two sons, we've had this plan for, 6-7 months. I've already paid for it. And I said, you know this too. There's no secrets. I've told you in advance. I said, if I'm not, you can count the hours against me. You can fire me, whatever you want to do. I said, I've been here all these years. And if I've never been done that way, and nobody in the whole plant had ever been done that way, the whole factory, nobody. And, there's hundreds of people that work there. And he was trying to set an example, with me. And I told some of my friends, my colleagues, I worked with, I said, if he gets away with this, I said, it's going to happen to you too. Sooner or later, it's going to happen to you too. I said, unfortunately, it's up to me to stop this. So I told him, my boss, I said, if you don't, if you want to write me up, go ahead. If you want to count hours against me, go ahead. If you want to fire me, go ahead. I said, but I had vacation down. It's in the book. You've signed off on it with your initials. And, it got close to quitting time. It's just a few minutes before quitting time, he come up to me and he said, just take off. But when I was talking to him and telling him that, I said, fire me, whatever it's going to be is going to be. I'll find another job. At that time, I was probably in my late 40s, no, not that. I was in my 50s, I guess, something like that. Anyway, and some people's going to say, well, Jimmy, why'd you stay there so long? Why did you stay there? Well, as I said, when I first started there, that was the best place. You couldn't have pushed me out the door because I liked working there. They were good folks, good people. But like I said, this company that I started working with, they sold out. The company that bought them sold out. The company after that sold out. It just went on down the line. And these companies, they buy these facilities, companies that like where I worked. Sorry about that. This thing's hanging on by a thread. They buy these places and, they just run them into the ground, take everything they can out of it. Old machinery or whatever, they scrap. They strip everything that they possibly can, make as much money as they can out of this merger, buying out thing, and then they resell it to someone else, you see. I don't know if they doctor the books or what. I don't know how that works. I don't want to know. But anyway, that's what happens. Anyway, I got sidetracked. I got to be off with no time counted against me. I still had a job and I got back. And of course, my boss and I were never the same. We were never the same. I would have never done him that way. And he was just trying to be, I don't know what happened to him. He just trying to be tush hog, how far can you push me? Now, like I said, I'm pretty easygoing. And I want to tell you a little bit about me. When I went into work, I always had a good attitude, no matter what. I would sing. I would do. I'd be so sad inside myself, but I'd sing. I'd have a good time. Whatever I'm doing, I'm going to try my best to have a good time. And I had so many of my friends when I retired say that they missed me so much because I was always uplifting. I was always trying to put a smile on somebody's face. Even if I had to do something stupid, act the idiot, which I'm very good at, I would do it. Just to, to make somebody else's day a little brighter, because we were all miserable there. But like I said, it gets to a point, that you have to, do you save yourself or hang on to your old cars and old trucks? Do you hang on to them and keep working till you're 67, 68, 70? I retired at 62. I knew several years before I was actually, 62. A few years before that, I knew that I needed to get out of that place because it's like being in the toilet. As I said before, I'm going down. The whole place is going down. And I live in a place that there's not many factories. There's not many good paying jobs. There's not. And the ones that used to be good paying jobs have practically shut down today. They're no longer in existence. And I mean, you're between a rock and a hard place. What do? You still got bills. You still got children. You still got to buy food. You got to buy gas. You got to pay your car insurance, your house insurance. Your land taxes. Your city and county taxes. Whatever your case may be, those bills keep coming in whether you have a job or not. You got to keep going. So no matter what my circumstance was, I was trying to make sure my wife and my kids, my two boys, I'm the provider, right? Now, my wife, Mrs. PIB, she did work, but I was the main. We both worked together as a team, but I brought home the most money. And so I had to stay there. I had to take it. I mean, you pick and choose your battles. You pick and choose them. Sure, I could go in there and raise a bunch of cane, tell people I'm leaving, you'll never see me again, watch me walk out the door. Yeah, I can do that. And you don't know how many times in my head that scenario came through and think, hold on, Jimmy, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. So I played my cards where I sold my classic cars and trucks. Like I said, a 62 Impala SS 327 4-speed, 62 Bel Air wagon, 57 GMC truck, short bed, step-side bed truck, a 57 Chevy short bed, step-side bed truck, big back glass, V8 automatic, a 57 Chevy truck, short back glass, short bed, step-side bed truck. I sold 5 in order, and I done that, guys, because I was kind of doing a sneak attack, you see, kind of going. I was doing things most people didn't know about, and I was secretly paying off all my bills, any notes I had at the bank, paying off my house, paying off everything I owed in order, because I knew when I walked out of that place, when I finally retired and walked out of that place, it was going to be a blessing for me, and I wasn't going to have to run out as soon as I jumped in my little Ford Ranger truck and go find another job. I was done. I was done. They was all in shock when I said I'm done. Remember the scenario, the situation I was in that made me retire. I had worked all week long on my job. And let me say this real quick. I've had a lot of people say the guy that I was training on the robot job that was on his phone all the time and wouldn't pay no attention. I hope y'all watch this video, in the description. You'll understand what I'm saying. He wouldn't learn nothing, wouldn't come back from lunch. Remember, my boss chewed me out from one end of me to the other. Just chewed me out. A dog didn't deserve it. Anyway, this is tough. But anyway, I had those scenarios going through my head. Just walk out the door. Anyway, I didn't. I hung in there. But I was paying off everything I had. I walked out of there, after the exit interview the HR lady gave me. And she told me don't ever come back on the property again, the plant property. She said, I appreciate you being here 25 years, but Jimmy, I don't want you ever back on this property with your attitude. And I'm thinking to myself, my attitude, with all the things I just told you, lady, and you think I have a bad attitude? Do you not think maybe some of this was brought on by the managers that you have? Anyway, it was a situation that I'm glad to be out of. Now, I honestly think Of course, I hated selling my old cars and my old trucks. I had a lot of time invested in them, and I really liked every one of them. I love the Lord Jesus Christ and God the Father. I love my wife and kids. Now, I'm just saying, I'm a little bit short of saying I loved those cars and trucks. I know they're not real. I mean, they're not alive. There's a difference between I really like and love. And I'm trying to tell you, I'm real close to saying I love those vehicles. Like I said, I cried and cried when they left here. And, but that's because I had so much time and money and effort to get them back up on their feet. Remember, I always buy cars and trucks that nobody else wants. They're fixing to be junked, or they've been sitting in the woods, or they're in a ditch, or about to go in a ditch to fill up a ditch. I've had all those scenarios. So anyway, I got out of that situation. I still had a job when I got back from vacation. And, that's just another one of those situations, where, in my head, I'm thinking to myself, Jimmy, how much more can you take? How much more? It's not, I don't know how to say this. I'm talking from the heart. It's not that I'm a wuss. It's not that my utmost number one priority with me staying there at that particular place is there's not another job in there that I would get day shift, and it's not, it's not far from my home. I'm not having to drive an hour and a half to another job. I'd already done that once before. I don't like driving, an hour and a half to my job and then an hour and a half back. That's not any fun. So my number one priority was my wife and kids, the two boys and my wife and kids, and to make sure they had security, knowing that there's going to be food, there's going to be shelter, this house, there's going to be lights on, they're going to have clothing, they're going to have books or whatever they need for school. And my wife, Mrs. PIB, knew that I was miserable. She encouraged me all the time, to hang in there. Do the best you can, hang in there. You just got a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And as I said, the straw that broke the camel's back was the day that, like I said, I'd worked hard all week on my job. The jobs were bid off. That's what I was going to tell you earlier. The jobs were bid off. That whoever had the highest seniority in that department got to pick the job. I picked my job that I wanted, and it was, my job per se. So I worked really hard at my job to get my numbers for the week so I could be off. The holiday was coming up, remember? Well, watch the video and the link in the description. There was a holiday coming up. It was Friday, 2 or 3, hours, maybe 4 hours before quitting time on Friday. I was already planning, things that we could do, my wife and myself and the two boys. Well, my boss come up to me, and he didn't like me. He was one of those kind of guys he was on the floor, a regular worker like myself. He didn't do nothing. Talk about nothing to everybody, didn't do nothing. They moved him up to manager, my supervisor. He didn't like me, and that's okay. So he said, Jimmy, I'm just going to refresh your memory. Or if you haven't watched the other videos, Jimmy, go to the other department and see so-and-so. And I asked him, I said, well, what's up? Go to the other department. Clean up your area. Go to another department. So I just kind of figured we was just kind of going through some parts that the plant in Mexico had sent back, because they built a plant in Mexico after they said they weren't doing it. They built the plant, and a lot of times we'd get parts back. You'd have to go through them. So I thought, well, maybe that's what's going on. I went over there, and the boss in that department said, Jimmy, I need you to work. A lot of people's called in, and we're going to need you to work on a holiday weekend, right? So you're supposed to have, 3 or 4 days off in a row, right? So I thought about it for just a minute. I had already turned 62. So I said, I'll be right back. So I went and used the telephone, and I called my wife, Mrs. PIB. I said, Mrs. PIB, I said, uh, they're really doing a number on me, and I'm going to have to work all weekend and through the holiday because a lot of people didn't show up, and so they're going to, because I got my numbers and worked hard all week so I could make sure I was off, they're going to kind of take advantage of me. I won't use other words. Take advantage of me, make me work all weekend and and the holiday. I said, I'm ready to give this job up, and she said, Jimmy, come home. Tell them you're done. Wash your hands of it. Tell them you're done. So I told my boss. I found my boss, and I told him. I said, you know what? I said, make me. Remember, you got to make. There's like 3 HR women up there. They don't do nothing. Sit there and Anyway, I'm not getting into all that. You have to make an appointment. I told my boss, make me an appointment with HR. So I guess he thought that I was going to go up there and complain. So he made me an appointment with HR. I went to HR, and I told the lady, I said, I'm retiring. I said, this is my last day. If you watch the other video, you've heard me say this. And, blah, blah, blah. I gave the exit interview, and she told me don't come back on the property ever again, or I'll be arrested. So that's pretty hurtful, isn't it? I mean, I never said any bad words. I never said nothing to her. I was nice and calm, just like I am now. But she asked me, what do you think about this place? That's a question you should never ask somebody like me or any of my other colleagues that's been out there a long time. It has been passed over and done wrong and done wrong. Don't ever ask that. She should have just said, wish you the best of luck. I thank you for 25 years of service. Never missing a day. Yeah, I went for years, never missed one day. Never. Always showing up on time. I've never been late my entire working career. Never been late one time. I would get there 45 minutes early in case I had car trouble or in case I got pulled over by the police on my way to work, which I have. I still had time to get to work on time. I was always early wherever I worked. So, yep. Don't ever come back on this property. So to me, that was just twisting the knife. Which, if you watch the video in the description, I told her, I said, lady, I said, you do not have to worry about me ever coming back on this property again. I said, you don't know how much I dislike this place. So I left. And I want to tell you guys, that's one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. I played my cards right. I sold all my classic cars and trucks. I had everything paid off. All my ducks was in a row. I had a brand new central heat and air unit, a new roof on the house. My house was paid for. New vinyl siding on the house. I had everything lined up. When I sold those vehicles, I done all that. Now, getting back to the point of, do I miss my old cars and trucks? Sure I do. I miss them. I don't know where they're at today, but I hope whoever has them is enjoying them. I've got a video on them if you'd want to see the video. I'll try to leave a link to that too if you want to watch. If you want to get caught up on this, you can in the description. Yeah, I miss them. I've always been a car and truck guy my whole life. When I was a little kid, 2 years old, I was playing with cars and trucks. I could, I'm 68. I could name each year and car make. A Rambler, a 1960 Pontiac, a 58 Chevy Impala, Bel Air, A Ford Fairlane 56. I could do all that. I mean, it's always just been in me. Old cars and old trucks. Of course, they were pretty new back then when I was growing up, but I mean, every year was different when it comes to cars and trucks. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, that I'm trying to answer some of the questions. Am I stupid for selling my cars and trucks? I don't think so. I think I made a wise decision, and I don't think management knew. I did not give them a clue how close they come for me leaving before then. But because I hung in there and was strong and took the abuse, verbal abuse, being mistreated on the job, sometimes I thought it pays to stay behind on your job. At least if you have to work the weekend or the holiday, you're doing your job, not someone else's. Anyway, I was trying my best. He never gave no clue that I was going to have to work the weekend or the holidays for someone else. That's not right. Anyway, I done kind of like a sneak attack. I'm still kind of proud of myself and patting myself on the back for doing it, selling my old cars and trucks. Now I still watch my channel, Prime at its Best. I have more old Chevy C10s and GMC trucks. I still do. I still do the same thing I was doing, only everything's paid for. I'll never have another 62 Impala or an Impala Super Sport or a Bel Air wagon. Those are way out of range for me. And at the age of 68, I'm real selective, especially now on how I spend my money. I'm not rich. I'm not rich. Most of y'all make more in 1 week or 2 weeks than I make in the whole month. But I'm real selective. As I said, everything's paid for. All I have to pay for, utilities, my food and water, insurance, cars and tags, tags for your car and truck, just the essentials. I have to pay for that, like everybody else. But I don't have a house payment. I don't have a car payment. I don't have a timeshare. I don't have none of that other stuff. I don't want it. I'm happy here. And even though I'm sitting here in this chair in the sun and I'm fixing to do more exercises with my total knee replacement, I'm so happy. I'm blessed beyond measure. God has given me strength to get through this trying time in my life. And I've had a bunch of trying times in my life to the point that I wanted to give up, but I didn't. I'm trying to encourage you guys. Please, please listen to what I'm saying. Save every dollar you can. Don't go buy a bunch of stuff, off the internet. Don't buy the expensive coffees. I mean, save. My point is, I'm mentioning things. Save every penny. Save every dollar you can. Put it away. Go see a financial advisor. Do the best you can to save every dollar, because I predict that the workplace is not going to get any better as time goes on. I really do. That place that I worked at, like I said, it was 9 degrees this morning. Those workers are still there working that I used to work with. Some of them sent me pictures of today. They sent me pictures of where they're working. They're all bundled up in coats, layers, 9 degrees. They're inside the building. The building has heat. The building has AC, but they won't turn it on. They won't turn it on. It's been that way. They won't turn it on. When I first worked there, we had heat. We had AC. In the summertime, the AC was going. In the wintertime, you had heat. They have it. It's on the roof. All that stuff on the roof. The office people, they have heat. They have air. Us on the floor, they won't turn it on. They're wringing every penny. Everybody, they're wringing them till there's nothing else to wring out. That's where I worked. So, call me stupid if you want to. Call me ignorant. Call me whatever you want to. But here I am sitting. I'm retired and everything's paid for. How many of y'all can say that? I mean, I'm sure there's some that can say that. But in the environment I was in, If you was in my shoes, which y'all have not been, if you had been in my shoes, you would have done the same thing. I bet some of y'all would have turned around and walked out before retirement, like I did. So, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. And like I said, for the last time, look in the description of this video and I'll leave you some links. You can click on them. You can start from the beginning. I'll try to remember put number 1, number 2, number 3, whatever. And you can kind of watch them. Let me know your comments. Please like and subscribe to the channel Primer is Best. I'm also on Facebook, Primer is Best, and Instagram, Primer is Best. I got a second YouTube channel called Man on a Budget, and I'm on Instagram, Man on a Budget 1, and I'm on Facebook, Man on a Budget. If you like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. It would mean a lot to my wife and myself, and constructive comments. Let me know. So many of y'all have left comments, and I pray for y'all every day. My wife and I both do. I pray for y'all on YouTube. My subscribers that have left me comments of your situation. It about make you cry. I've told my wife, I said, I'm so sad for these folks. There's no need for people to in management to act the way that they do. It's uncalled for. We're all human beings. We all have feelings. And, we're all like this body right here. We're all in a body that has different needs. I've got total knee replacement. My shoulder hurts. My back hurts. My arms hurt. Everybody's different. Everybody's given. If you talk to somebody nice, and treat them with respect, you're going to get more out of them. You get more flies with sugar than you do with vinegar. Remember that saying? It applies to humans as well. I mean, there's no need for all that. And to me, when management is hollering at somebody, especially like I've been done, wide out in the open where all the other employees can hear you, can hear them hollering at you, chewing you out from, I had bite marks all over me, just chewed and then spit out. There's no need for that. To me, that immediately tells me that management is ignorant. And the ones in management were the ones that didn't do nothing. And they're telling me, because I'm there, I'm old reliable. Just like a die-hard battery, you crank it up, I start up. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm getting wound up, can you tell? And I apologize. I thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, as I said. And I hope the Lord will watch over you and bless you and keep you safe. Keep you with food and water and a shelter. And don't ever think for one moment, don't ever think in any of my videos where I'm talking about an old car or truck I have or whatever that I'm bragging. I am not bragging. Never, ever am I bragging. The Lord can take all this away that quick in a heartbeat. I can fall over dead in a heartbeat. Don't ever think I'm bragging. I'm just trying to help you guys. I'm telling you my situation. Maybe you can relate, and a lot of y'all have, in the comments. And I'll be praying for you. And God help you if you're in one of those situations similar to what I've just been through in my life. And it's the Lord is training us, you and I, the Lord's training us for a future job working with the Lord and our Savior, Jesus Christ and God the Father. So be patient. Hold your tongue. Don't say nothing bad. Every word can be hurtful. Just calm down. It takes two to argue, right? If you don't say nothing, the other one's going to run out of stuff to say if you're not arguing back. Hang in there, guys. If you like these kind of videos, let me know. I'll try to be encouraging to you. God bless each and every one of you guys. My wife and I both love you. We're praying for you each and every day. Believe me, we do every day. We have a prayer list. You're on it. God bless y'all. Catch you in the next one, guys. See y'all later.